Most people know the name Shaka Zulu. Very few know how he actually changed warfare. This isn't a myth or a legend, these are real, tangible tactics that completely reshaped the landscape of southern Africa. Long before European troops arrived in force. From reorganizing entire armies to inventing new weapons, Shaka's reforms were so effective that when European observers first encountered his forces, they struggled to explain how they moved, fought, and won with such discipline. This is the story of a military revolution, built not on magic, but on strategy. Let's start with the spear that changed everything. Before Shaka, the primary weapon in the region was a long, light throwing spear called an assegai. Warriors would typically throw them from a distance, making battles often skirmishes rather than decisive engagements. Shaka saw this as inefficient, so he redesigned it. He created the iklwa, short, heavy-bladed stabbing spear. Its name is said to come from the sound it made when withdrawn from an enemy. This wasn't just a new weapon, it was a new philosophy of combat. It forced warriors to get close, to engage directly and commit to the fight. This dramatically changed the nature of battle. Engagements became shorter, far more decisive, and psychologically shocking for opponents who were used to fighting from a distance. While the enemy was occupied with the chest, two flanking units, the horns, would spread out and race to encircle the enemy from both sides. This wasn't some legendary, mystical formation. It's a sophisticated tactical concept, similar in principle to modern encirclement strategies used by armies all over the world. A brilliant formation and a revolutionary weapon are useless without the soldiers to execute the plan, and this is where Shaka's genius for organization really shines. He didn't just command an army, he built one from the ground up. He standardized the army into regiments based on age, called amabutho. Young men from all over the kingdom were brought together to train and live in dedicated military kraals, or barracks. This broke down old tribal loyalties and forged a new, unified identity loyal directly to Shaka and the Zulu state. This turned a collection of individual fighters into a single, cohesive, professional fighting machine that could move and strike as one. This powerful army couldn't exist in a vacuum. It was supported by, and in turn supported, the entire Zulu state. The military was the foundation of governance. The age regiment system wasn't just for war, it was a social and political structure that integrated every man into the state, creating a powerful sense of national unity. Loyalty was directed to the king and the nation, not to smaller regional chiefs. This political structure was designed to support a permanent state of military readiness, both for defense and for expansion. The spoils of war, like cattle and territory, were distributed by the king, Further centralizing his power, Shaka's strategy wasn't just about random conquest or raiding, it was a deliberate, calculated process of state building. He understood that a strong army needs a strong state behind it, and a strong state is protected by a strong army. They were two sides of the same coin. The Zulu Kingdom became a highly centralized, militarized state, capable of mobilizing its entire society for war in a way its rivals simply could not match. It's crucial to place Shaka's rise in its proper historical context. This is a gross oversimplification. He wasn't a caricature from a myth. His methods evolved within a complex world of intense political rivalries, increasing population pressure on resources, and shifting regional trade networks. The period before Shaka, known as the Methane or the Crushing, was already a time of great upheaval and conflict. Shaka's reforms were a response to this environment, a hyper-effective solution to the strategic problems of his time. Many European accounts, written by traders, missionaries, and colonial officials, often misunderstood or deliberately exaggerated details to fit their own narratives about savage Africa. They focused on the brutality without understanding the underlying strategic and political logic. Shaka was a product of his time, and his military system was a rational, if ruthless, response to the world he inhabited. So in the end, Shaka Zulu didn't win because of sheer numbers or violence alone. He won because he was a master innovator who understood structure, discipline, mobility, and psychology. He created a system where the weapon, the formation, the soldier, and the state all worked together as one integrated machine. He turned an army into an engine of statecraft. If you enjoy history that treats Africa as a central subject, not just a footnote, consider subscribing to the channel. We have a lot more stories like this to tell. Thanks for watching.